you back to a time when love was as precious as diamonds, where if you search you would find it.
You were lounging on the couch, wrapped in a cozy blanket, flipping through a magazine. The sound of the front door opening made you look up with a smile, excited to see Jungkook come home. Hey gorgeous, he called as he walked in, looking tired but happy to see you. You immediately sprang up, running to him and wrapped your arms around his neck. You're back. I've missed you so much. Jungkook hugged you back while his smile widened. I missed you too. How have you been? You pulled back and pouted. You were away for a week. What do you think I would be? He chuckled softly and placed a soft kiss on your forehead. I'm sorry, love, but now I'm back and I promise I won't go anywhere until you get bored of me. You rolled your eyes. Whenever you say that, it's sure that you are leaving me. He chuckled and pulled you into a tight hug. This time I promise it won't happen. I'm not leaving my sweetheart until she gets bored of me. Choose your words carefully because that's never going to happen. He laughed and nodded. Then I'm lucky that my sweetheart loves me that much. You pulled back and raised a brow. Do you doubt my love? He shook his head while the smile not leaving his face. No way. Good for you. And you both burst into laughter. He pulled away just enough to look up at him with bright eyes. I've got a great idea for tonight. How about a movie night? Just us cuddle up on the couch. Jungkook's expression softened, but he shook his head gently. That sounds amazing, sweetheart, but I've got a virtual conference in a bit. You pulled back completely and crossed your arms while raising a brow. Again, it's work. You just finished saying that you'll be with me and now see? That's why I've arranged this virtual conference, sweetheart. I'm going to be here with you only. You pouted. You're always busy. We never get to do anything fun together. Jungkook's eyes filled with regret. I'm sorry, Ryan. I know this is not right, but this meeting is important. I promise I'll make it up to you. After that, I'll do whatever you want to. Promise. You sighed dramatically, leaning against him with a playful frown. Can't I just be with you during the meeting? I promise I won't be a distraction. Jungkook raised an eyebrow, looking hesitant. You want to be there? Ryan, it's an important meeting with a lot of discussions. You'll probably get bored. You tilted your head, looking at him with pleading eyes. I'm not a spy, you know. I won't disclose any information. I just want to be near you. Jungkook sighed, giving up, as he knew you won't understand. Plus, he was already away from you for a week, so he can't even blame you. You're impossible, sweetheart. You pressed your lips together in a pout. Please, Jungkook, it will be more fun if I'm there with you. I promise I'll be quiet and just sit next to you. He sighed, clearly torn between his professional responsibilities and your persistence. Alright. If you really want to, you can stay. But remember, it's going to be a lot of boring business talk. You grinned happily and hugged him again. Thanks, I promise I'll be a quiet and good companion. Jungkook laughed softly and hugged you back. You'd better be. Let's finish this meeting so we can have our movie night. Yes, but did you eat dinner? He looked at you. Later. No, you'll not attend the conference without eating. Ryan, but you cut him off in the middle. You're coming in the dining room after changing. I'll ask Mrs. Han to cook something for you. And you left from there saying that. He chuckled and shook his head. Her attitude is getting so fine day by day. He loosed his tie and walked to his closet. After the dinner, you came in the study room with Jungkook. This place is always out of your head. You don't understand how Jungkook never gets fed up seeing piles of files and folders on his desk. You still have time to think whether you wanna stay or not. It will going to be super boring and you can't blame me. He was setting up his laptop. I never change my decision once I say anything. It's final. He chuckled and nodded before sitting on the chair and also pulling a chair for you next to him. That's a very good thing. Now you can sit back here and relax. Let's finish this meeting quickly so we can watch movie. To his confusion, you wrapped your arms around his neck and adjusted yourself on his lap. What are you doing? You smiled. I can relax better here. You better be kidding. I told you I'm going to be in a virtual conference. So what? Are you ashamed of me? Don't say anything, Ryan. Why would I be ashamed of you? Then let me stay like this. I promise I won't disturb. I left for a whole week without you. You have no right to push me away. I will do whatever I want to. He smiled and shook his head before sighing. Do whatever you want. Just don't be a distraction. You know I can't resist you. A smile appeared on your face. Then I should be testing you. How can you fight with the distraction? You said, kissing his ear, sending shivers down his spine. You're challenging me, he said, raising his brow while a playful smile on his face. You nodded. Why? Are you afraid? He chuckled. Jungkook is afraid of nothing. Your smile widened. Then let's test you today. Before he says anything, the screen flickered to life and his gang members began to appear in small squares. You looked at him while you could see his expressions changing slowly. The meeting began and Jungkook only turned on his mic. He addressed each issue with precision, his voice steady and commanding. You couldn't help but be impressed by the way he handled everything so effortlessly. You love being his wife. Sometimes you like his Mafia attitude more than anything, but he's always soft and gentle towards you. This was your chance to tease him. Boss, we need to address the security breach in the northern sector. One of his associates stated, their voice crackling through the speakers. Jungkook's eyes flickered to the screen, his expression turning serious. Ensure that all entry points are fortified. Double the guard shifts and increase surveillance. I want a report by morning. As he spoke, you moved closer, playing with the veins of his other hand, and then you leaned over, pressing a soft kiss to his temple. He shot you a warning glance, but you just smiled innocently, loving the way you could make him lose his control. Boss, what about the shipment arriving tomorrow night? Should we reroute it? Another voice inquired. Jungkook's free hand moved to your thigh, squeezing gently in a silent plea for you to behave. No, we'll stick to the original plan, make sure the area is secure and have our best men on it. You leaned back, resting your head against his shoulder, and whispered, You're so serious, Mr. John. You teased him and Jungkook never thought you will get this bold. He was trying to control himself even though you were successful in distracting him. He tried to focus on the screen but your touch was distracting. Stay still, love. He murmured while his tone softened despite the stern words. Boss, your thoughts on the new partnership with the Tokyo Syndicate? Someone asked, snapping Jungkook back to the present. He cleared his throat, trying to focus back. Proceed with caution. We need to ensure their loyalty before we commit to any major deals. Set up a meeting for next week to discuss terms. As he spoke, your lips found the crook of his neck and you pressed a soft kiss there, feeling his pulse quickens under your touch. Ryan, behave. He hissed softly, trying to maintain his composure. You giggled softly, loving the way you could make him lose his control. Am I distracting you, baby? I can't help it. You're too irresistible. You said, biting his earlobe while Jungkook's body tensed. The meeting dragged on, minutes turning into hours. Jungkook's focus wavered, not because of the business at hand, but because of you. Your fingers never ceased their teasing, your touch both soothing and distracting. You traced a finger along the lines of his veins, watching as he tensed slightly at your touch. Jungkook's eyes flickered towards you, his expression a mix of amusement and warning. Ryan, behave. He whispered under his breath, trying to keep his voice steady. You gave him an innocent look, but your fingers didn't stop their exploration. Instead, you leaned in closer, your lips brushing lightly against his neck, just below his ear. You felt him shiver under your touch and his grip on the armrest tightened. He cleared his throat and shifted in his seat, trying to keep his attention on the meeting. Sorry, a slight distraction, he muttered to the people on the call, his voice a little strained. Not satisfied with just the reaction, you decided to push your luck further. You pressed a soft kiss to his jawline, your lips lingering on his skin. Jungkook's hand twitched, and you could see the effort it took for him to maintain his composure. Ryan, I need to focus. You giggled softly, your breath warm against his neck. I'm not doing anything bad, just keeping you company. You teased while the fingers now gently tracing patterns on his hand. He shot you a quick, desperate look, trying to convey the seriousness of the situation, but you could see the faint hint of a smile tugging at the corner of his lips. Despite his best efforts, you were clearly getting to him. As the meeting dragged on, you continued your light touches, occasionally kissing his neck or cheek, enjoying the way he subtly squirming beneath you. His free hand, the one you weren't playing with, balled into a fist every time you got a little too close to breaking his control. As soon as the meeting ended, he closed his laptop with a sigh of relief. You are such a tease, he said, his voice laced with both frustration and affection as he turned to look at you. You gave him a playful grin. I couldn't help myself. You're just so irresistible. Jungkook's eyes darkened slightly, and before you could react, he wrapped his arms around you, pulling you even closer. Now that the meeting's over, you're going to pay for all that teasing. He said in a low and husky voice, sending goosebumps to your body. Your heart raced as he leaned in, capturing your lips in a deep, passionate kiss. The tension that had been building during the meeting finally snapped, and you melted into his embrace, happy to be his distraction. Now that he's all yours. He finally pulled back, his forehead rested against yours, both of you breathing a little heavier. You're going to be the death of me, he said with a soft laugh, his eyes filled with affection. You giggled, brushing a stray lock of hair from his forehead. But you love it. You teased while your tone playfully yet sincere. He chuckled and nodded. Yeah, I really do. He shifted slightly, adjusting you on his lap so that you were more comfortable. His hand gently rubbed your back as he looked at you. His expression softened. I'm sorry I have been so busy lately. I hate not being able to spend more time with you. You shook your head, resting your hand on his cheek. I know you're busy, Jungkook. It's okay, I just like being close to you, even if it's during your meetings. He smiled, leaning into your touch. You're too good to me. Pouted playfully, poking his chest. Well, you owe me a movie night now. No more excuses. Jungkook laughed, the sound deep and genuine as he nodded. You are right, I promised, didn't I? Let's do it. What movie are we watching? You grinned, your earlier teasing mood returning. That's a secret, but trust me, you'll love it. He raised an eyebrow, clearly intrigued. Alright, lead the way, Mrs. Jung. You hopped off his lap, grabbing his hand and pulling him towards the living room. The rest of the night you spent watching movie and cuddling while talking about the future and forever.